BD here, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in this video we are talking about the best part of Agatha All Along Episode 5, the worst part of Agatha All Along Episode 5, and where it goes from here. I'll be sharing my thoughts on the episode and rating it out of 10, so go ahead and drop your score in the comments section. I'll be sharing my predictions on where I think this is going next based on that cliffhanger ending, so go ahead and drop your predictions in the comment section as well. And of course, it's an Agatha video, so you know there's going to be a credit scene at the end of this right here. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we flew past 25,000 subscribers and I'm going to New York Comic-Con next week and you're not going to want to miss everything coming there. Thank you in advance. Let's jump in. First of all, the worst part of this episode, let's just get this out of the way. It's the runtime. I pressed play at 8 o'clock, I'm in the Central Time Zone, and by 8:25, the credits were rolling on my screen. 25 minutes just feels wildly short in the streaming era, and I know we're not supposed to compare them, but listen, I've been watching The Penguin, and I've been loving that show, and honestly, visually, it looks better than Agatha and a lot of the stuff Marvel does, and they're delivering full hour-long episodes week after week. So 25 minutes is just wildly disappointing in my opinion, not to mention the VFX on this show, like when the witches were flying. In the theme of the show, I really enjoyed it, but visually, I thought the VFX just weren't working. So yeah, those are the two weak points of the episode for me, the runtime and the visuals. But other than that, there's actually a lot I really liked in Agatha's 5th episode. And among the things I liked is the best part of the episode, which is how it ended. Not only did the cliffhanger leave us wondering, oh, what's happening to Agatha and Jan and Lilia when they got sucked down into a creepy little mud pit on the Witch's Road, but it all but essentially confirmed that Jirak is playing Billy, Wanda Maximoff's son. I loved that. I loved seeing Billy use his powers, and if you remember back in WandaVision, Billy used his powers, and they look just like when Jirak's version of the character used them at the end of this Agatha episode. So that same sort of connectivity between the visual representation of the powers, a nice touch. Love when things are all connected in the MCU. And Agatha saying, you're just like your mother, obviously referencing Wanda now, representing the fact she's much more morally centered and balanced than Agatha seems to ever have been. And we were pretty much all expecting Jirak to be Billy, to be Wiccan, to be Wanda's son, and they found a way to drop that reveal that was exciting and fresh and not predictable. So props to them for finding a way to do that despite all of us kind of seeing this reveal coming in one way or another, and also props to them for not waiting until the finale to do it. I will be curious to see if Billy is a mutant in the MCU like he is in comics. Obviously, we only have Kamala Khan and Namor in the MCU who are mutants so far, in like the sacred timeline anyway. Obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine loaded with mutants, but so far we only have 2. I'll be curious to see if they go that route, or if not, because Wanda is called Gifted because they didn't have mutant rights yet when they were making Wanda's introductory appearance in a movie. Also, I have to compliment the fact that Agatha All Along is tricking me into almost trusting Agatha Harkness over and over again, and then reminding me that I can't. Like, she literally sucked the soul out of Alice, took the powers right out of her, took them for herself, killed Alice, left her dead, and then tells Billy, and yes, I'm referring to him as Billy from here on out, that she couldn't control it, that she didn't want to do that. And first I was like, wait a second, is she telling the truth? I kind of believe her. I believe her, right? No, she was lying. She was clearly lying. This is the woman who killed her own mother. Evanora came back as a ghost in this episode. Evanora was like, I hate my own daughter. I don't think Evanora is necessarily the villain here. I think Agatha's a pretty bad person. I don't even think it's morally gray. I think Agatha is just a villain. The other part of this episode I really, really liked was seeing Agatha possessed by Evanora. I thought the undead, maybe really old makeup prosthetic put on Catherine Hahn's face, the performance, the lighting, the whole thing was pretty scary, and I'm really glad Marvel delivered on like the spooky stuff they promised with this series in this episode specifically. Now listen, my dumb little child immature brain thought that when the Ouija board was going all across the letters and spelling Mrs. Hart, that it was actually spelling Mr. Shart. If I was a kid watching this episode where Catherine Hahn's Agatha was possessed, all my friends in school would have been calling me Mr. Shart from watching it. It was actually pretty scary stuff. Now, I know it's Marvel. It's not like, oh, this is R-rated, this is super freaky, James Wan Conjuring level scary. But no, this was like actually creepy stuff, and I actually really enjoyed seeing Marvel go there and have this creepy, fun level of spooky darkness. Ooh, it's spooky prediction time. I think from here, we're going to get a lot of Agatha's past. I think going underground, following up a cliffhanger is the perfect opportunity to make us wonder what happens after the cliffhanger, and then give us the sort of flashback, the context, everything we need about Agatha's life before this to inform us before we get to the destination at the end of the show. I don't think Jen is long for this world. I don't think Lilia is long for this world. I do think, I'll touch on this in this video more than once, that it's going to come down to Agatha, Rio, and Billy in the end, and there's going to be some kind of tough choice, and that's going to be the moment where Agatha is either going to be solidified as a villain, it's going to be something like she can spare Billy or give Billy what he wants or something like that, and maybe that's how we get Wanda Maximoff back, or she can probably maybe have to sacrifice Billy or make some kind of tough call that would solidify her as a bad person who is willing to make that call out of a selfish desire. And therefore, it's just clear. This is not a character that can be redeemed. This is a character that is a villain. Everybody was right about her for not trusting her. I do think we're going to get a lot of information about Rio and Agatha's history, their relationship, everything that happened many, many years ago. And I do think next episode could be the place that we get that. Episode 6, and therefore sending us into the third act, following the cliffhanger of Agatha All Along. I think that might be almost exactly what happens. And I haven't seen the next episode. I've only seen 5 of them with everybody else. And I did promise you a 10 score at the beginning of this video, didn't I? Overall, I liked the episode, but I think the fear I expressed in an earlier video about the series getting a little bit redundant, like trial after trial, and then sort of we're weeding out a character in each episode, ultimately to get to a point where it's Agatha, Rio, and Billy in the end, at the end of the Witch's Road, and some tough decisions are going to have to be made, feels like it's making the show a little bit predictable, a little bit repetitive, though I will say, this didn't feel like the same exact structure of the previous 2 episodes with the trial. We were given a lot more reveals. We were given some more information. But my goodness, 25 minutes is crazy short. And the VFX were pretty subpar. Like, that shot of them flying, like, it felt magical because I kind of just allowed myself to exist in it and, like, be in the moment. But it visually wasn't very impressive at all. I love the end of the episode. I love that the witches reacted properly to Agatha killing Alice. I was kind of worried that they were just going to be like, okay, fine, we have to continue the journey. You killed our friend, but whatever. Now, they're all really pissed, and I appreciated that. And giving us a cliffhanger, that feels like TV to me. I dig that. So overall, good with the bad. I'm giving Agatha All Along episode 5 a 7.7 out of 10. Share your 10 score in the comment section. And what is your biggest prediction for where this show goes from here? I want to hear it. I want to read it. You might be featured in next week's video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that and more. There's exclusive interviews in New York Comic Con and loads of stuff coming to the YouTube channel right here. Thanks to all of you subscribing and following and watching and making that possible. It's been fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. I'm BD. I'll see you in the next video.
What's up, BD's YouTube channel? Episode 5 of Agatha was the first one that I did not see early, so I was just blown away in real time. This is my immediate reaction. God, I love this show. It just was made for me, specifically. Everything about this episode, it's just so witchy, and fun, and sad. Alice. But I think that the main thing here is that we're finally free of these who is Joe Locke playing, because we all knew he was Wiccan, and we are finally confirmed we can live, we can breathe, we can move past this and start focusing on literally anything else. I'm so happy.